Good morning, everyone. Hello, how is everybody? It says there's a few of you here already. I am early again. It's one of those things that if I don't start when I get down here, I'll then get involved doing something else and then I'll be late because it'd be like, oh, whoopsie, didn't pay attention to the time. So, yeah. How is everybody? Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we don't have any issues with the internet this week. We shall see. We shall see. So I have a bunch of muslins to make up. I'm just putting my battery back on its charger so I don't lose it, because we know what I'm like. I will misplace things if I don't have them in their proper place. So yeah, good morning, Caroline. Muslins. Quite a few muslins. Whoop. Like a walking tornado. Okay, muslins. There's some more over here. Got my extra spare stickers from my bullet journal, and I am going to include those in the Patreon newsletter for the Patreon peeps who signed up for that tier. So muslins. Whoop, let's not drop all of them. Muslins. So I've got 4 muslins to do. Who knows how many of them I will actually get to today. Hopefully more than one. All 4 would be nice. We shall see. So maybe I should start with the most involved first. Or should I do some of the easier ones first and ease back into it? Harriet's here. Good morning, peeps. Good morning, Harriet. Moran is here. Hello from Israel. Good morning. Or good afternoon for you. Leslie says good morning. Good morning, Leslie. So, yeah, my PO box finally arrived. Oh, what a nightmare that's been. And it turns out that they will only use Royal Mail products this side to deliver to the PO box. Which, so like Hermes, DPD, UPS, those kinds of things, will not be able to use the PO box as an address, which I think is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, I need to try and find an alternative method, because Maggie sent me a package of parcels from America and they're getting returned to her because it's not valid as an address, which is ridiculous. So I think I just said that, didn't I? But yeah. Christine's here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Christine. Nia's here. Morning, folks. Hello, Big Bird. Le Pied Caes. Hello from France. I am going to have butchered that. I'm very, very sorry. Bethany's here. Good morning. Peeps, good morning, Bethany. How are you, my lovely? Karen's here. Good morning from Long Island, New York. Good morning. So, yeah, muslins. What should we start with? I think we should start with the one that's on top, and that is this jacket. Now, I didn't have to alter this jacket. I didn't have to lengthen it because I measured the back length and it was 17 inches. Now, I know Angela Clayton is tall. I think she's 5'10", so I think she's actually 2 inches taller than me. So this might fit me out of the packet. But that's why I made a muslin. Because the other thing is, as well, she has specifically drafted this bodice or this jacket to be... the grain line on this is to match up the plaid, to chevron the plaid, and I do want to make it out of a plaid, but I only have 2 meters of that, and I thought I could get more and I can't. So I have a feeling that I will be doing something different with that plaid fabric, something that only takes 2 meters, obviously. Moran says hello from cold Israel. Welcome. I did, yeah. your comments are coming through, Moran, just in case you didn't see the earlier one. Leslie says, morning all, good morning. So there is a freaky little dart on the front of this one, so I'm going to put that to the side for now, along with the front side, the little front side piece, the lower front piece. You need to sew the dart, and then you can sew that in at a right angle. So what I'm going to do, I want to try and find a biro, which are right behind you guys here. Let's try not to knock over the camera. Put the camera up there, because I did that once, and a camera flying across the room and broke it, which was not good and cost a lot to repair. So I want to try and mark in the grain lines on all of these before I completely move them from the pattern, because if it works, I will be able to use this as these pattern pieces as a template for the plaid, to see if I can cut it all out on a single layer, and then see if I can actually fit these pieces onto the plaid that I want to use. Would help if my pen worked. That one is dead. There's plenty of ink in it, but it's not working, so let's grab another one. Try again. This one has much less ink in it. Are you gonna work? Yes, that's good. Okay, so we've got one side marked. Can I see through enough? Yes, I can see. Oh, poke myself in the eye with it. Fabulous. That's a great start, isn't it? Mark on the grain line for this one. So this is centre back, and this one is centre back. Right, so I need to up my stitch length and then pin this together to sew this together, and the seam allowance for this is 5/8 of an inch. And I need a new scrap bag as well. Fun times. So let's see, catch up with the chat. Liz says, hey from Perth, always enjoy the live stream. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Bethany says, I'm good. Super excited for Friday. I've made a mask which matches my outfit. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing you again. It's been well over 2 years, hasn't it? Jen Pin says, morning peeps, watching on my laptop today as did a silly thing and have started moving furniture around to make room for my loom in my study spare bedroom. Nice. Always got to love a little bit of reorganization. I think that's one of the reasons I like this room so much, is because it's constantly being reorganized, because usually I get fed up with the furniture arrangement in places and want to reorganize them all. And because I have to do that in here to be able to use it for its different functions. So I think maybe that's why I get on with it so well. Although I like playing with the fabric. I might want to rearrange that at some point as well. Adele says, hi, I need to say a huge thank you to you. I was watching in the week when you were batch cutting on a single layer. I was cutting a new pattern on my son's graduation and the cutting layout was wrong. Oh, wow. I only realised when you said about reversing pattern pieces, so thank you so much. Dress and fabric were nearly ruined, but I managed to save it. Awesome. I'm so glad that was helpful, Adele. Nicole says, good morning from the Netherlands. Good morning. Claire C says, good morning from a cold and wet Cheshire. It's been absolutely peeing it down with rain today. We had a torrential downpour. Thankfully, it stopped, so I could get down here with the laptop, but it seems to be spitting again at the moment. Not very nice. Awkward Evie says, good morning, everyone. 4:50 a.m. and -10 degrees outside. Ooh. Brr. Caroline says to Bethany, I'm looking forward to Friday too. Yes, it's going to be so nice. I've booked a table at Brewdog for 1:30 for lunch and they've charged me 50 quid for it. So I've booked a table for 14 people. they've held 50 quid, so if we don't turn up, then they'll charge me the £50 for it. So I'm hoping that at least 14 of us turn up. There's supposed to be about 16 coming, I think, although quite a few people have had to cancel for different reasons. Like Big Bird can't come because she cannot risk getting the C word because she's going to Malaysia to see baby brother. So she had to get special dispensation for it as well. So yes, she is being sensible, which is sensible. Cecilia says, good morning, lovely peeps. Good morning, Cecilia. Alex is here. Hello, shining peeps. Hi, Alex. How are you, my lovely? And Danielle says, hello, power is back on so I can watch 43 degrees Celsius today, and power for 6 hours, out of power for 6 hours. Wow, that is chilly. Yeah, the radiator's broken in my room. It's absolutely freezing in there. I mean, it's not, it's it gets to about 14 degrees. So I've got another one of the little radiators that we use down here on up there at the moment. And when I'm awake and moving around up there, it's on 22. I've left, so I've put it down to 19 so that Chiana doesn't freeze. We know she's been getting cold because she sleeps next. She sleeps on the one side of the bed. I kind of roll up in the duvet, so she has the bed to herself on the sheet, on the flat sheet or the fitted sheet, and then she puts her head on the silk pillowcase. She's very much enjoying the silk pillowcases, but you know she's been getting cold because I've been waking up in the morning and she's curled up on me and like burrowed in. So yeah, poor little monster. She's definitely been getting cold. So I've left the heating on 19 for her whilst I'm down here with you guys. Julie says, hi lovelies. Hello Julie. I haven't watched your trouser making video yet, but well done for tackling trousers. You're braver the man than I am. Kathleen says, good morning from Illinois. Have 2 kittens frolicking across my lap while trying to drink coffee. How adorable. And Sal says, good day, Shining Peeps. Good evening, Sal. And Trisha says, good morning, Peeps. Good morning, Trisha. Right, now, did I completely kill the bobbin on this thing? Ooh, it's a happy little noise. I think I might have completely run the bobbin out. Yeah. So I'm going to go through and just pick a fairly full random bobbin. And we will, doesn't really matter. Oh, hello, that's a big old bit of fluff. Maybe I need to give this a little bit of a clean. That was a big old bit of fluff. Give it a little bit of a clean. I'm not going to worry about a new needle because I am only sewing muslins, but I will get rid of some of this fluff. Some of the fluff. Banish le fluff. Bobbin is in my lap still. Okay. Okie dokie. Alright, I need to, my scrap bag is full. I won't send that out again. I sent it to Janet. It's dog bed stuffing. And it cost, I think it was something like £12 for postage, and I'd only charged £8, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. But it wasn't a cost-effective way of doing it. So I will continue to take that into H&M because they do recycle fabric scraps, which is awesome. Right, let's just pick up that bobbin thread. Come on, bobbin thread. There you are. Right, there we go. Where did I get to with the chat? Julie says it's a lots of speeded up video. Ah, cool. Karen says, hi peeps. Hello, Karen. Alex says to Sal, I can almost hear it with an Aussie accent. I hope you're well. Nightmares can be used for your next story, by the way. Nicola says, hello from Inverness. We have snow here at the moment. Brr, wow. Chris says, good evening from Adelaide. Good evening. Julie says, is my computer that slows today? It could be me. I really hope it's not. So far, so good. Chris says, I'm crocheting a cardigan while watching you, Sean. I always love your live chats. Oh, thank you for joining us, Chris. Caroline says, finally managed to cut out the no meat in the red and black fabric from November. Nice. Oh, look what itchy nose. Excuse me. Trisha says, it's blowing a hoolie and heavy showers here in Liverpool. Roll on spring. Yeah. Sal says to Alex, my name here comes from a story I published based on a nightmare. So been there, done that. Helen says, first time live watcher from Victoria, Australia. Good evening, Helen. Sal says, I'm good. Hope you are well. Right. So let's get this 16 minutes in, and first line of stitching is being sewn. I don't think it's a record, but we're close. Okay. I haven't done any sewing for ages, actually, so this feels kind of weird. And I'm doing it with giant stitches because this is only a muslin. And as I say, if this fits, I want to be able to take this apart to use as pattern pieces. So I am back stitching at the start and the stop, or the start and the end of each seam, but only like one back stitch. But I don't want it to come apart on me as I'm trying it on, because that would be bad. So that's the first bit done. That is a curvy back seam. Right. So middle back. Now I need to transfer over the grain line again. Sal says, I think Sean is sick. She's sewing this quick in the live hangout. Well, after last week, with all the chat and then it all going wrong. Okay, so this is middle back. I'm going to attempt to actually get some stuff done today. Now, where's the, there it is. Okay. Julie says, ooh, you're very focused today. Yeah, I've been having a bad pain week. Not quite to red yet. If it was on red, I wouldn't be doing anything today. I haven't been sleeping very well. It's been particularly bad at night, and I need to concentrate, because if I don't, I am just going to think about ouch. So I am trying my bestest to not let it get the better of me. Let's see. Pin says, I moved my DVD bookcase from the living room to the stairs, replaced it with a little desk from the study, moved my sewing trolley to the space, and have put the loom in that space. I like it. Karen says to Sal, it's called determination. Yeah. Linnea says, hello everyone, how are you all? My family is unwell, stomach flu, and I'm hoping it will skip me, keeping away with this as a distraction. Oh, they poor things. I feel very sorry for them. I hope they feel better soon. Claire says, I have almost finished my Hortensia cardigan, just knitting the cuff on the second sleeve. I fancy knitting the Hearten cardigan. Can I ask your mum used the Roman yarn for yours? No, we used the Stylecraft double knit acrylic yarn. That was, I don't really like the feel of real wool next to my skin. Somebody pointed out that I don't like the feeling of a polyester in dresses, but I love it in cardigans. And then the real stuff in cardigans I hate because it makes my skin itch. But in dresses, I much prefer it. And it's true. I find real wool really itchy next to my skin, and to the point where if it's touching my skin, then I won't wear it. So yeah, most of my cardigans are made with polyester yarn, or acrylic yarn, sorry, which I think is polyester, isn't it? Stylecraft double knit is what Mum used for the Hearten cardigans. She did use a bamboo yarn for one of them, which was a khaki green colour, and it came out huge, and there was no factor to it at all. So Nia has that one, and it goes really well with the Savannah dress that she'd made. So it looks really good on Nia. And Nia's mum crocheted on did you crochet on Nia? I can't remember. One of them crocheted on like a little loop for a buttonhole. My navy one is actually quite big, and I'm thinking about sewing a ribbon that's the width of my shoulder, and then sewing it on the inside of the cardigan from shoulder point to shoulder point so that it stays on, because it kind of like comes off. And I'm asking Mum to do the next one a slightly smaller size. But yeah, it's all double knit, the Stylecraft double knit. Lynn says, hi Shan, what are you doing mock-ups today? The first one is the Angela Clayton jacket, which is what I'm working on now. Then we've got some we've got 3 Deer and Doe ones to power through. Trisha says, maybe this isn't Shan, but one of the mannequins in disguise. Yeah. Running So-and-so says, hello everyone. Hi Judy. Alex says to Sal, haha, I'm not surprised. I'm well, thank you. First day off in a month, so I'm going a bit crazy. Oh, are you doing all the overlocking and all the cover stitching, Alex? Are you doing all the things? Caroline says, we will chat on Friday as I have something hopeful for you. Yes, I did see your message, Caroline. Thank you. Let's see. Julie says, oh no, sweetheart. Hugs. Thank you, Julie. Awkward Evie says, I hope we can help you stay distracted today. Yes, you can. I couldn't concentrate yesterday, actually, at all. I could not concentrate at all. So I sat and I have done my bullet journal right the way through until the end of the year. Yeah, I mean, like up till the very last page, my bullet journal, all my stickers are done, all the weeks are set out, all the boxes are drawn. It's made it quite chunky, as you can see. It has made it quite a lot chunkier than it was, but it still completely fits inside of the traveler's notebook case for it. So yeah. But I couldn't concentrate on sewing yesterday. I really wanted to, but I knew I'd make mistakes. So yeah. Leslie says, morning Shan, what are you saying today? I'm restarting a Dear Doorstop. I spaced the I's wrong, so pulled it apart. Hopefully a second attempt will be better. Nice. Very nice. And oh, it's been washed. It was you, Leslie, that sent me the fabric, wasn't it? Sorry, just getting the screen names and real names together in my brain. Nicola says, totally your fault, but received my first Sherwood's order this week. Magical Moonlight jersey and Mulberry Cobra Corsage viscose. So much for my fabric ban. Oops, it's fine. Nia says it was her that crocheted the little loop onto the heart and cardigan and stops it falling off your shoulders. Yeah, my navy one is a bit big. Like I said, I think I'm going to try and sew a ribbon from shoulder point short to shoulder point. So yeah. Cynthia says, good morning, Sean. Checking in from bitterly cold Kenosha, Wisconsin. Good morning, Cynthia. Claire says, thank you. That's really helpful. That's all right. Was that about the yarn? Yes, it was. Laura says, good morning from Columbus, Ohio. Good morning. Judy says, I've not been able to focus on anything all week, and since Wednesday, I've done nothing. Oh, you poor thing. Linnea says, you've inspired me with that journal. Really wanted a similar system for when I get back to work next year. I've really been enjoying using it. There's certain layouts that I didn't like in January, so I haven't included those again. I had a running task list this week, and I've really enjoyed using that. So yeah, it's been, I've really enjoyed having my planner back, and I've really enjoyed that it looks as pretty as it does, and that I've been able to make it look that pretty with, you know, some effort on my part, but like the thing that I'm not good at didn't have to be factored into the equation. So that's good. Right. These are some very curvy princess seams that we've got going on here. So I personally like to sew the larger, bunchier side on top so that I can. Am I sewing this the right way? Yes, I am. Yeah, I personally like to sew it with the bunchier side on top so that I can corral it and make sure that I don't get any tucks. I know some people prefer to do that with this side where the feed dogs is. So the feed dogs are, gosh, words today are hard. So that they can let the feed dogs do the work of pulling the extra fabric and making sure that there's no tucks and puckers. It's, again, a case of whichever way works best for you is the right way, because if you get the result you want, then it has been the correct method. It's a very curvy bit at the top of this thing. Get that one in place, make sure it's behaving itself. There we go. Yeah, I've done it the wrong way round. I've done one seam on the inside and one seam on the outside. Oh well, never mind. From now on, these are going to be the right sides together. It's fine. Leslie says, yes, it was. Yes, the Leslie sent me some fabric in my PO box, and it's been washed now. And she says it's wearable muslin fodder, but I think it's beautiful. So I've got 2 meters of this for a top. Thank you, Leslie, which is lovely. It has now been washed. I think the Fwiff's not knowing what to do with himself because I've not been buying fabric at the same rate that I used to. So yeah. La 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 la. Where did I get to? Awkward Evie says, I got to the calendar books on rough days. I go to the calendar books on rough days too. There's something therapeutic about planning process. Today might suck, but we can always plan and look forward to better days. Indeed. Josephine says, hello, welcome. Noelia's here. Hi everyone. Hi Sean. I'm joining for just a few minutes as I have some family around for lunch. Hope you're all well. Very well, thank you, Noelia. It's nice to see you. Gin and Pin says, some yarn does weird things. I've had to unpick whole jumper because it grew and grew and grew, and it was a lace pattern and broke my heart going to reknit it as a plain knit. Apparently bamboo is known for being particularly stretchy. Because the cardigan looks lovely. It's just got like, I mean, it needed to be knitted at the smallest size. And I don't think Mum particularly knits them at a very big size anyway. But yeah, it was just not right for me. But it looks really good on Big Bird. Big Bird is 5'11". There's a couple actually. There's 2 khaki cardigans that Big Bird has got from me, and so I need to get Mum to make me another one. She's going to get sick of knitting that colour all the time. She's knit me 3 actually. One I felted in the washing machine because I completely fluffed up when I washed it for the first time, and it's now the size of like it would fit Yoda kind of thing. So yeah. Alex says, Shan, I'm going to do some sewing with you. Have done some shoe shopping. Had a self-imposed ban on any shoes, but wellies and trainers. Need to specify how many pairs I can buy though. I have just bought myself 2 pairs of Joe Brown's shoes. I bought a pair of knee-high boots in tan that actually fit, because none of my boots fit me at the moment. My legs are too chubby. Although I have lost, as you guys know, just over a stone, and that's kind of slowed down again a bit, but that's fine. I would like to lose a little bit more. I don't mind if it comes off slowly though. But my legs are still a bit too chubby for my boots and wouldn't fit into them, so I've bought myself a pair of tan boots, because the 2 pairs of tan boots that I have, I can't get my chubby little legs in. And then I bought a pair of burgundy, they're called dance hall shoes, and they've got the same heel as the turquoise and the green boots that I bought from Joe Brown's, but they're slightly higher, and they're a T-bar like Mary Jane style, and they're really pretty. And they go really well with Savannah, because the hummingbird wings are that kind of colour. They're the same colour as the lily silk cashmere jumper. So yes, I completely understand the shoe shopping addiction, Alex, and then also the need to regulate yourself. So, Dipsy552 says good morning from Poughkeepsie, New York, from Sandy. Good morning, Sandy. Julie says cats, really. He was asking to get out of the window that doesn't open, and when I lifted him to the window that does open, he got angry at me. Yeah, Chiana this morning, I was needed to make the bed, and she just kept mowing at me. She was like, I don't want to move. It's like, but you need to. So I made the bed over her, and then she was unhappy with me because of that. Gin and Pin says, it's okay, it's just a mock-up. Yes, no, it's fine. The back seam it's totally fine, just being an idiot. Awkward Evie says, I took your fitting advice from the fall about using princess seams and got the couple of patterns that use them, and will be practicing with them in the spring. Oh, awesome. Charlie says, my daughter has the virus and her partner, but worse because he has 2 days away from getting the booster. And my great niece, age 6 and also 17, out of 25 in my sister's class. Hugs to all the peeps. Oh, those poor things. I hope they get better quickly. Leslie says, I'll send you some more then. As it happens, I'm going into town on Tuesday. Fabric may fall into my bag. I'm going fabric shopping on Friday with the peeps on the Goldhawk Road. I have a feeling that fabric's going to fall into my bag as well. Lily says, hello everybody, just hopping in for a bit on this dreary stormy afternoon. Hello. Nia says, I'm the khaki Kylie stealer. You are. Both of them are Kim Hargreaves one as well. Mum will not knit me the wraparound one again, but it just drowned me. Alex says, no, I like Joe Brown's. I'm not going to check out their website. I'm sorry, Alex. The boots are really cute. Moran says, I'm making the Ellie and Mac hack of the woven pajamas transferred to a shacket from a beautiful fabric of flannel by Robert Kaufman in watercolors. I got to the point that I need my husband to try it on. Ooh, it sounds like it's going to be awesome though. Right, let's sew up this second seam. Everything to lie nice and flatly, hopefully. There are a lot of panels in this jacket. A lot of panels. But that is, as we've said, to get the plaids to chevron nicely. I mean, I'm being careful with these seams when I'm sewing them, but I don't need to be like super careful about not getting tucks in them, because, you know, at the end of the day, it is just a muslin. It's got leg of mutton sleeves on this jacket, but they aren't like the huge giant sleeves that they did in the, I think it was the 1890s. This might be late 90s, getting towards Edwardian, I think. But again, I am not a dress expert, so okay. There's my side back. So let's get the grain line marked on this one. And so this is side back. There we go. Whoops. Side back. And then I can't put off the complicated little front weirdness anymore. I have a feeling as well with this jacket that I'm going to want to, what did I do with the pattern? There it is. I'm not going to be adding the soutache detail to it, because as beautiful it is as it is, I'm not going to want that. And they've got some very long and pointy collar pieces here, and I haven't cut out the back collar, just the lapels. I have a feeling I'm either going to want to slim those down a little bit, or actually attach them with, sew them down with buttons. I do want to try and do like a feature like this on the front, and I want to put cuffs on it as well, to then add buttons to the cuffs. So there's quite a lot of little bits that I'd like to change on this. Not like huge things, but just little bits and pieces that I would like to change and see what I can do. But yeah, I think it's gonna look very pretty. I've read that one. Caroline says, after 2 appointments where I haven't been to the dentist, I'm definitely hopeful for Friday. Yes, you can definitely treat yourself on Friday, Caroline, for sure. I haven't treated myself after that last appointment. I was really tempted by that Stitch Fabric silk, and they still have 8 meters of it. I know where the other 2 meters have gone. If I don't find anything that I love in person on Friday, I might buy myself that fabric, because I definitely think I deserve a treat after the news I got at the dentist. Charlie says to Caroline, 2 appointments without biting needs rewarding big time. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Christine says, I'm not listening to the Joe Brown shoe talk. I am concentrating on my waistband because I don't need any encouragement. The shoes are so pretty. I know. And the boots actually fit my calves, which is something that I love. What I love about the Joe Brown site as well is that they will give you the calf measurement from minimum to maximum. So there is some boots on there that I would love to buy, but because they're not lace-up ones, they won't fit my calves. So the 3 that I've bought, and I have bought 3 pairs of boots from them. The 3 that I have bought are all lace-up, of the lace-up variety, but they are lovely. Julie says, I need to make the second toile for my sister's new running jacket. Oh, good luck with that. Linnea says, I'm soon done with my Sapphire Indigo mashup and working on a simple robe from a bedsheet I bought in Sri Lanka. Very nice. Julie says, I have the leg of mutton sleeve, the small one. I love the leg of mutton sleeve, the small one. Yes, I'm going to be intrigued to see how this one comes out. Linnea says, oh, I love big collars. I have big fluffy ones on all my coats. Yeah, this is, I'm just a bit worried they're quite big and pointy and they come past the shoulder cap. It's going to be interesting. We'll see. Kathleen says, hope to finish my two-piece outfit using Simplicity 8982 and adding view D of Simplicity 8695 vintage sleeves pattern that you mentioned last Sunday. Didn't have to adapt the sleeve cap. Oh, awesome. And Alex says they have some on sale and I still haven't bought any. Well done. Caroline says to Charlie, and he even said I had done really well. He laughed when I told him about our reward program. Yep. Mom and Pop Quilt Show says good morning from Nova Scotia in Canada. Good morning. Good morning. So we've got nearly a finished back piece here. Nearly. So, get this side on. Then we can put the other side on and then I can work on the front pieces. Yeah, I think maybe making this in plaid might be a really stupid idea. Because like I say, I've only got 2 meters of the plaid that I want to use, or the check that I want to use, and I can't get any more of it. And I very much doubt that I'm going to be able to cut all the pieces out and pattern match well. So I think what I'm actually going to do is make this with one of my other coating fabrics. And we'll see if I find anything on Friday at the Gold Walk Road. Because I think what I would actually like to do is buy a little bit more of the tan wool that I made the Jedi cape from and the Sorrento jacket from. But then do I really need another? Well, I mean, this is a very different to the Sorrento jacket, isn't it? So maybe I ought to buy, I don't know, maybe like, oh, some navy wool would be nice. I do have navy wool within the tan accents, because I would like to use that tan fabric that I have for the collar of this and the lapels and the cuffs that I want to add. The navy wool I have was supposed to be for a hemispheric coat, but I also have some cream wool up there that's supposed to be a hemispheric coat. Maybe I ought to make this out of the cream wool with the tan. That could look nice. I might have enough for a kind of short skirt. No, I won't have enough for a short skirt because I've only got 3 meters of that wool as well. That was a remnant I got from Sherwood's. Like that cream wool, I'm thinking if I Scotch guard it, it should be fine. You know, like, just be careful with it. I don't know. What could I use that sort of like tartan that I've got for this? I don't know. We shall have to see. I'm gonna try and lay the pieces out on the check wool, and if I can pattern match it the way that you're meant to, I think it would be a really nice jacket. to have. But if I can't pattern match it the way that it's meant to, then I will have to think of something else. I was thinking as well for the sleeves, like the undersleeve, because these are 2-part sleeves, I could always use the tan wool for the undersleeve. I think that would work. I don't think that would look too bad. Okay, so the back is sewn together. That's quite a big skirt. So that needs pressing. So might make the sleeves next, actually. We shall see. Where did I get to? Carmen says, good morning, Peeps. Lovely ensemble, Sean. Thank you. Jane says, hi, Peeps. Hi, Jane. Mum and Pop Quilt Show says, good morning to Carmen and Jane. Rachel's here. Hello, lovelies from Bronte and me. Hi. I saw you went on a walk this morning. It looked very frosty. Una's here. What if you were to colour block the side, front and back in a dark colour? The trouble is there are 6 back panels across the back of the jacket, but there's only 2 at the front. There isn't a side panel at the front. I suppose I could put one in, but the front of the jacket is cut on in one piece, as it were. So I definitely think I could do the undersleeves in the kind of camel coloured wool. Just marking in the grain lines. Then I need to mark in the gathering points, because there are quite a lot of gathering points on, well, quite large gathering points on the top of this sleeve. So let's get those marked in. Did I snip it? Yes, I did. That's good. Yeah, the front is a bit strange. It has like a tiny little lower front panel, and then the rest of the front is cut in one piece. And then the back, as I've just sewn, has 6 pieces in it. So, because I did think about doing the same thing, like having the underarm sleeve and then the sides here as a solid coloured wool, but it wouldn't work because of the way that the front piece is drafted. But I like how you think. Una says, kept not sewing, thinking it was because I was busy tired, but realised yesterday I was procrastinating over the sleeves of my husband's birthday shirt, which was in January. Oh, don't worry. I know that kind of procrastination. I'm measuring Wilson this time I go up. I'm not making him the thingy for Valentine's Day because I didn't measure him last time. Great, I've got black thread running through here that's nearly on grain, but not quite. So let's not make a mistake with the markings, because that would be bad. There we go. Let's mark the grain line on this. Okay, so we've got upper sleeve and upper sleeve, and then we've got the lower sleeves. I haven't added any length to these either, because I just thought, you know what, I'm going to try them out and see. And like I say, I do want to add a cuff to these, which I'm going to have to steal from another pattern. Which is going to be interesting. We'll mark on here where the side seam's meant to be. There we go, and there is my grain line. Okay, So lower sleeve, not that you really kind of like would get the sleeves confused, but yeah. I think this could look very cute in the white wool, but again, I've got 3 meters of it. So it says here for B, for the 150 wide, I need 2 meters. So it would leave me with 1 meter left, which I suppose I could get a skirt from, especially the skirt of the dress that I'm wearing. I could definitely do that, but I prefer a fuller skirt, as you know, so I'm not sure. Right, let's put in some gathering to these ginormous sleeve caps and then try that. Artie Blade Force says, greetings from Nashville. Good morning. Una says, Hub suggested I do something else, so I'm taking in a ready-to-wear dress on the princess seams instead. Nice. Gin and Pin says, I'm trying not to buy any more fabric until I've used at least some of what I already have, but I'm going to have to get some more lining fabric, but that doesn't count, does it? Or interfacing? No, totally not. Because if you don't buy those things, then you can't make up the fabric that you've already got. You need lining fabric and interfacing to make up the pretty fabrics that you have. So no, that totally doesn't count. Ashley's here. Hi everyone. Hello. Johanna's here. Hello. Watching from bed on this chilly morning. Hoping the house warms up soon. Oh, I know the feeling. Una says, oh wow, that's a lot of panels. Yes. Johanna says, lining and interfacing definitely don't count. And Nia says hi to Rachel and Warranty. Yeah, no, lining and interfacing and anything that you like, cotton flannel or anything that you need to make a garment with stuff that you already have is totally allowable, because as I say, if you don't buy it, then you can't make the thing, so the fabric ends up just sitting in your stash, which is not the point. So those fabrics are totally allowable to be purchased. It's like I've nearly run out of calico after cutting out these 4 muslins. I have less than 1 meter of calico left, so I will need to order another 20 meters from Minerva soon. So you know, that's 20 meters of fabric coming in, but it is necessary because every now and again I'm good and we'll make a muslin. I've kind of gotten out of the habit with Vogue and McCall's because, as we've talked about, those ones tend to fit me. But with the Deer and Doe ones, the reason I made muslins, like proper calico muslins for all of those, is because I had to add a different amount of length to the torso on each single one. Like the Breurier shirt, it said I needed to add 3 inches of length. I've added 2 3/4. And it might be too much because I have made the Breurier shirt once before and I added 1 inch of length to that one, but I don't have it anymore because it wasn't right on me, so I've donated it. And I didn't really make any notes about the fit or where the waist came to, which was very stupid of me. And when I watched my review of it, the only thing that I said is that I'd done a full bust adjustment on it that I probably didn't need to do, and that I had used the apex point as the end of my dart rather than backing it off 1 inch, which you're meant to do. And looking at it, I actually think the full bust adjustment was pretty good in those videos, but it was the waist that was too tight. But I don't know where the waist came to because I was sitting down and then the twirls were quite far away. So yeah, I am remaking the muslin of that dress because now I've got to get the sleeve on the right way. Yeah, that is the right way. Is that the right way? No, that's not the right way. this is the right way. This is the way. Yeah, so that's why I'm making muslins of all the deer and doe dresses, because the things that I've made from deer and doe that are fitted like dresses, the belladonna dress was a very long time ago. The Butterick shirt was a very long time ago. And I've made the loop-in jacket a couple of times, which fits me okay. But it's been so long and I don't really know their block that well that I thought, rather than waste any of the fabric that I've got behind me, because as I've mentioned a few times now, none of this is really wearable muslin fodder anymore, because I really like everything that I have. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make proper calico muslins. Una says, white wool waistcoat, or do you already have that? I do have a white rayon suiting waistcoat, well, cream rayon suiting waistcoat and jacket, skirt, sorry. And that's why I'm reluctant to make this jacket and the skirt from that the dress that I'm wearing, because I've made it already in the white rayon suiting, and I haven't worn it. Well, I mean, because when I put it on initially, my thought was just like, oh god, this is horrible on me, I hate it. But I think I would prefer a fuller skirt, so I'm thinking maybe I ought to just make the hemispheric coat out of that white and then find something different for this if I can't get it out of the checked suiting, which I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to. I mean, it does say I need 2 meters and it is drafted for it does say I need 2 meters, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see, because that's why that's another reason that I wanted to make a muslin of this, is because I can take this apart if it fits, or alter it and then take this apart and use these as my pattern pieces, so that I can lay it out on the single layer of the tartan or the check fabric and see if it will actually fit on. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Rachel says hi to Nia from both of us. Awkward Evie says, do you suggest anything particular to use for lining fabric? I mainly sew with cotton and know nothing about interfacing and lining. Majority of the times I will use cotton lawn if I am lining a cotton dress, regardless of the weight of the outer fabric of the cotton dress. And then if I'm using something drapey like rayon, I will try and line it in a plain rayon. I have lined rayon dresses in cotton lawn when I want them to have more structure, like the Vogue 9327, the high-necked one with the open sleeves. Because of the high neck and the way, I didn't want a super drapey fabric for that, but I wanted to use that particular fabric for that particular pattern, so I interlined it with cotton lawn. Rachel says, what's on your machine today? I am sewing up the muslin for the jacket for this, to see how it is going to come out. Marie says, good morning, Peeps and Sean from Long Island, New York. Brr. Is it chilly? And Nimue is here as well. Hello, Nimue. So, yeah, I mean, you can get, I also use acetate, viscose acetate lining from Stitch, I was going to say from Stitched Up. I don't steal Rachel's fabric, from Sherwood Fabrics, and I really like that. I got a comment on the, what was it? I got a comment on the Lily Silk video from someone just saying, alas, cashmere is bad for the environment here, there, and this reason. And then also, alas, acetate is bad for the environment for this, and this reason. And it's like, basically all of the fabric and clothing industry is bad for the environment. The best thing for the environment would be for us to wear what is already made and to use and to never produce anything new fabric wise. There is enough clothing in the world that nobody needs new clothing. That's never going to happen in our culture at the moment, but we need to shift back to slow fashion and to reusing and restyling and remaking things. But the acetate is a wood pulp. So it does take a lot of water to make, but it's better for the environment than polyester because it does biodegrade. It's not great for the environment, but none of this is great for the environment because of the amount of water and chemicals and stuff that get used. So if you're gonna, the comment was kind of like, oh, you're pointing out the sustainability or no, I was pointing out the ethos of Lily Silk, that they are trying to be as green as possible whilst acknowledging that they are one of the industry that they're in is one of the largest polluters in the world. And it's like you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. But you can make smart choices with regards to the things that you purchase, which is why I am trying not to purchase any more polyester, because if there is a lack of a market for polyester, then less of it will be made, which is great, and less microplastics getting put back into the water system. And also people, the polyester doesn't biodegrade, it just sits there. So natural fibers biodegrade eventually, which is what we want. We want it to, it takes years, but we want it to go back. And the only way to stop the giant amount of pollution from the clothing industry is just to stop making new clothes and for us to stop buying new clothes. But as I said, that's never going to happen. But we can make more ethical and sensible choices about it. There is some fabric on the Goldhawk Road. It's a beautiful kind of like shimmery, metallic, wet-looking fabric, and it is polyester. And every shop has it, and they've all got it at a slightly different price. And every time I go in there, it's about £4 a metre, and I want to buy like 10 metres of it and make a Grecian type gown with Swarovski crystals studded all over it. And I'm thinking, like, a Grecian gown, could I do it as a zero waste project so that I don't cut anything off and just drape? But I know that that's not realistic because of the type of stuff that I like. I would need to cut things off, so it wouldn't be zero waste. So I'm not buying that fabric, because as much as I love it and I really want it, and it would make a gorgeous dress, again, it's a choice that I'm like, I don't want polyester. Like I did buy more of the velvet, the Cobra Corsage velvet, and as I say, I cancelled that order, and I'm glad that I did. But yeah. Julie says, so when Angela Clayton first uploaded that video of how she made the outfit, I kind of copied it and I love it. Nice. Yeah, I fell in love with this the minute she uploaded it. Evie says, okay, it sounds like cotton lawn is the place to start. That's my favorite. I have a lot of it. I tend to buy 10-meter cuts of it. I've got it in black and white. That pretty much does me for everything. You can just see it up there. Carmen says, sometimes layout, even on non-pattern matching needed fabric, is so vital. A bunch of flowers or animals in the wrong place can become embarrassing. Funny, but embarrassing. Yeah. Yes. Sal says, Sean, I want to do a matrix twist on one of those cartoon faces you posted on your Peeps group, but need to know what is your favorite matrix action scene. I don't know. I'll have to have a think about that, Sal. Jinimpin says, I've used both cotton line and acetate to line with, but when I was looking at a stiffer taffeta instead of the facings in the pattern for this dress, saves having to wear a separate underskirt. Yes. Evie says, Sunday sustainability class with Sean, noted, quit buying cheap polyester fabric, lol. I mean, again, I'm not trying to shame anybody in any way. Like, again, it's everybody needs to make their own choices and stuff like that. And I know that if you're starting new to sewing, like, natural fibers are expensive or more expensive. And the last thing I want to do is gatekeep and say, oh, you can't make clothes unless you're buying natural fibers. That's the last thing I want to do. I mean, I'm wearing viscose dress today, but I think this is an acrylic yarn. And as I say, I do buy acrylic wool, and that probably puts just as many microplastics into the world as polyester fabric. So, you know, I am not perfect, and I'm not trying to say I am, and I'm so not trying to gatekeep. And I, you know, if the only way you can get fabric to practice on is by buying cheap polyester fabrics to practice on, then that's, you know, what you need to do. But think about what you do with the, like, the offcuts and stuff. Those ones I stuff dog beds with, and stuff the closet case, the closet core patterns poof with, so that I'm not putting them into the rubbish, basically. I try to be as minimal waste with that sort of thing as possible. So I am in, like I say, I am no way trying to gatekeep and say that you have to have natural fiber fabrics. There's a couple of polyester ones in there, and then the bottom, yeah, about that much of this one here. Oh, so there's the velvet there as well, but that much of this one in here is the rest of my polyester fabric. The rest of the stuff that I have back here is all natural fibers, and that's just been a decision that I've made over the years. And I'm stopped buying polyester fabric, but I am in no way saying that anyone else has to do that. It's just something to bear in mind. And since discovering the fabric room, they have a lot of polyester on there, but they also have their viscose page. And viscose is a man-made fiber, but it's made from a wood cellulose, so it will biodegrade quicker than polyester does, because polyester doesn't technically biodegrade, does it? But the, you know, they're sort of, some of them are £2, £3 per meter. You do have to add VAT on top of that, so another 20% on top of that. But they are good options for practicing on, because they are natural fibers and cheap. But again, they are only plains, and they might not do the color that you want or the pretty print that you want. So I am in no way saying that you mustn't ever buy polyester, especially to practice with, because that's the last thing I want to do. I am not gatekeeping remotely. And yeah, you need to just, everybody needs to make lots of little changes. Like we've started using small kitchen products, because, like, dishwasher tablets and washing up liquids, because they're better for the environment. And we've switched to Who Gives a Crap loo roll, which is made from bamboo rather than paper. And I'm desperately trying to talk Dad out of using quite as many plastic bags for food storage as he does, and we're trying to work out different methods for that. So, you know, we're not perfect, but we're just trying to make all these little changes, just so that, yeah, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be trying, kind of thing. Jackie says, I bought 3 dresses in the M&S yellow ticket sale. I cannot return them. One is beautiful jersey, which I'm remaking into a sweatshirt, and the other 2 viscose, remaking into full skirts. Ooh, nice. Kathleen, I do like the prints that M&S come out with. Kathleen says, I've never used cotton lawn. Does it wrinkle when washed? Yes, like a bugger. Yes, yes. You will have to iron it, definitely. Julie says, the industry problem is one of the reasons I buy 90% of my fabric secondhand. Yeah. Yeah. And I know that's why the thrifting kind of movement in America has gotten so much bigger with lots of younger people, because they just don't want fast fashion anymore. Carmen says, I'm constantly looking at slippery prom dresses in the secondhand store. Figure if I can give bad fabric a second life for a while, it's at least something. Totally, absolutely. Yeah, and you get so much fabric with those ones. Evie says, no, I just think most people aren't aware that polyester doesn't biodegrade. So that's a very important point to me, because I had been aiming for cheap polyester. In the end, it's not worth it. I mean, the trouble is, natural fibers are more expensive. They are. And, you know, if you're starting out sewing, making mistakes with more expensive fabric can be really heart destroying, because you're just like, oh God, you know, I've wasted so much money and I've wasted such nice fabric. So I understand cheap polyesters, but it is just something to think about. And if you do use them, like I say, just use them as dog bed stuffing afterwards. So yeah. Julian Pin says, I have a project in waiting where the fashion fabric bark cloth was on sale, so cost a lot less than the cotton lawn to line it, but I want cotton next to my skin. Yeah, especially with something like bark cloth. I love bark cloth though. I have quite a few of those in my stash. the nubblier ones, but definitely feel nicer with a lining. Rachel Lynn says good morning or good morning. Julie says to Awkward Evie, using bedding from secondhand shops is often 100% cotton and quite easy to work with. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different options, but it's one of those things that you need to kind of like work out what's the right options for you. And I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that anyone has to do what I do and my way is the best way, because it's totally not. The best way, as I say, is for us to never buy anything new again and just use up what we've got. But we all know that that's not going to happen. Evie says, over the years, I became very aware of how purchase choices affect the environment and what actually have control over. So I meant more like note to pay more attention to fabric and materials. Yeah. Julie, I do. It's so much more affordable and saves it from going into the trash. Definitely. Definitely. Nimoy says there's also that we sew our garments to be exactly what we want and fit and style, so we won't be throwing them out in the bin after 0 to 3 wears. It's already making a huge difference. Yeah, totally. I mean, that's the other thing as well, is like, you know, all the stuff that we make, there's very few things that I get rid of now because I have honed down my style and know what I like. And whilst that annoys some people, that I repeatedly sew from a kind of cookie cutter, always fit and flare, it also means that there's a lot less waste in my wardrobe. I have a cardigan in my collection that I got from Bay Trading when I was 17 or 18, and I still have that thing because I love it. Bay Trading is probably kind of like fast fashion. Back then it was like a Miss Selfridge kind of, you know, sort of like level of shop, top shop, Bay Trading. But I think it's an acrylic cardigan. It's a light pink one. I don't wear it very often anymore, but I still have it in my wardrobe because I loved it. And I think once you've kind of refined your style a bit more, you do tend to make smarter purchases or makes, and things last for longer. One crazy sleeve. Now we need to do second crazy sleeve. Then we need to do the front. Let's see. Evie says, I'm sorry, Sean, didn't mean to make you feel like you were coming off the wrong way. Really don't think you are. It was an educational moment to take note of. I'll shush now. No, that's fine. It's totally fine. Like, I get it. Like, that's one thing that I don't want to do is be sick, because gatekeeping on any kind of hobby is infuriating, and you know, I hate that. But no, I wasn't thinking that you were no, and I just, it's just one of those, you know, one of those things that I like talking about if somebody raises the subject with me. I mean, when I go on Friday, like I say, I'm going to look at that shiny fabric again and kind of talk myself out of buying it, because it is polyester and I don't need more polyester in my stash, but it is so pretty. But the similar fabric, if I bought it in silk, would be, you know, £40 a meter. It would be 100 times the price, so, or 10 times the price. So yeah. Julie says, oh no, me either. I'm just trying to share what I do, not what everybody else has to do. Yeah, exactly. Like, I am definitely not perfect. I buy stuff from the supermarket that it doesn't need to have the plastic on it, but I really want the food. So, you know, I try. One of my favorite vegetable delivery companies, Able and Cole. I used to get a delivery from them every week when I was living in London. Bread, milk, and a veggie box. And they've now started doing pantry basics in tubs. So you buy like the glass tub, whichever one you want, and keep it in your pantry, and they send whatever you've ordered, like a kilogram of pasta. They'll send it to you in a tub that you empty it out into your tub, and then when they collect the box next week, because they would always collect the box from you, and it was just a cardboard box, but they collect the box when they bring the next box over, and they'll take back the tub and then refill it and send it out to somebody else. And I love that. And if I lived in London full time, which I will hopefully again soon, well, soonish, in a few years' time, I'm totally going to go back to that. Not that I eat pasta anymore. I miss pasta. But yeah, it's one of those things that it's just another way of, we found a supermarket that's like a 20-minute walk from our place, that does the same sort of thing. It's all bring your own receptacle, and it's scoops and giant vats of like chickpeas or the lentils or the pasta or the rice or the stuff, so you don't buy it. There isn't packaging for it. You bring your own packaging. But this, I mean, it's a really expensive supermarket, and it is a 20-minute walk from where we live, but you know, efforts are being made, which is good. So yeah. Carol says, good morning from sunny but chilly New York City. Good morning, Carol. Evie says, exactly. Sal says, I have a jumper that I've had since I was 13, 14. I'm 39 now and will never throw it out. Yeah. Rachel Lynn says, I found a t-shirt from when I was in high school. My daughter has stolen it now. Has it got a slogan on it, or is it just a plain t-shirt? Julie says, gatekeeping is infuriating no matter what. Yes, totally. Yeah. Kathleen says, don't throw anything away. I have some of my late mum's clothes that fit me. I recently wore a coat to dress with a matching cape from 1969. Still looks great. Nice. I'm sorry. Okay, yawn. Ashley says, also sustainability and slow fashion are a spectrum. We do what we can. Exactly. I mean, there are very few people out there that are perfect. So, yeah. Carol says, I'm going to be working on big projects this year as I don't have a need for many more clothes when we aren't going anywhere, but I do need a project to work on. A jacket coming next. Ooh, are you going to do lots of hand tailoring? Very nice. Carmen says, often I get green eyes looking at people's new fabric hauls, but grandma taught me waste not, want not, and my stack of secondhand fabric makes me smile and almost proud. Yeah, I mean, this is the other thing. I mean, look behind me. I don't need more fabric. I really don't. And I haven't bought any new fabric this year, any pattern. I have bought cotton lawn, but I haven't bought any new fabric this year so far. So say I'm going to the Gold Hawk Road on Friday, so I'm definitely buying something on Friday, but I have a very specific list. So yeah. Julie says I should really get up and start cutting out of the toile. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. It's lack of sleep over the last couple of days. Rachel Lynn says, the t-shirt says, break the trend, smile back. Oh, I love it. Ashley says, food without packaging, like you said, was the normal before when you think about it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you used to go to the grocery shop, and you'd buy the weight of what you wanted, and they'd brown paper wrap it, or you'd bring your own containers with you. Yeah, the convenience era, the era of plastic, it just got mental. Absolutely mental. Kathy says, good morning, Sean. Good morning. Evie says, just heard about those non-trash stores. It sounds neat. Yeah, it is very cool. It is very expensive. That's the supermarket that we found. It's right next to the keto restaurant we went to. Apparently it's the only keto restaurant in the world. It was really nice. We had pizza, cauliflower based pizza. It was really good. It was expensive. Linnea says, I bought a new maternity PJ in viscose jersey now because I only have one and we are freezing. But the good thing about sewing is that I can remake their pants afterwards and have regular PJs. Exactly. Adele says, don't forget to like the stream. Oh, I'm going to yawn again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have literally had no sleep for the last 4 days. Adele says, don't forget to like the stream. I read that one. Awkward Edie says, everything is in plastic here. Yeah. Yeah. I think like some of the things that I've seen, like oranges being pre-peeled and then put in a plastic, individual plastic cups to sell them, is just mental. Like oranges come pre-packaged. They don't need to be peeled and put in a plastic container. If you really can't be bothered to go to the effort of peeling an orange, then you don't deserve the orange. But again, like I am not trying to say I'm perfect, because I am far from perfect. But I do try and make informed decisions. Yeah, informed as much as possible. You know, like nobody, as I say, nobody's perfect, and you're always going to get something wrong. And that video that I mentioned the comment on, it was just like, you know, I said, oh, viscose acetate lining as opposed to polyester lining, and the person was just like, oh, yeah, no, acetate's not bad. It's not good for the environment. And it's like, I know, but nothing's good for the environment. Like human beings are basically a virus on the planet. You know, nothing is good for our environment. It's just the least impact you can make, if possible. I mean, I'm never going to stop sewing. I have a far larger wardrobe than I need. I've talked about this many times before. Oh, Noelia's off. She says, bye-bye, off to have lunch. Have a good day, everyone. You too, Noelia. It's lovely to see you. You know, I've always had more clothes than I needed. I've always, when I was buying them, and now that I'm making them, I don't need this many. I know I don't need this many. But it is my job. And I can, within that parameter, I can make informed decisions about, you know, how I then do the thing that I want to do, the thing that I love within those parameters. So, you know, it's just one of those things. We have to make decisions that feel right for us, which is the most that anyone can ask. So that's what I try and do. Okay, I've got my little mark on there, cut in my notches. There's another little mark down here. Let's get that one on. And then I need to put on the grain line, which for this one is a straight grain. She came up with a very clever method for chevroning the front of this. So this is the lower front. And straight grain line there. This is also the lower front. So that can go into the envelope. Go to the side. Now we need to mark in this little weird dart that is going on. And the corresponding marks. So I've got all my notches snipped in, but I'm just transferring over the like circles and the squares and things. And this one has a weird grain line as well. Fun times. Okay. Right, so weird little dart needs to go in. And it is slightly curved as well. So that's going to need my French curve. Just put in the other 2 marks. And then once this is all together, I'm going to press everything, and then I get to try and set in Lego mutton sleeves for the first time. But given that they're meant to have lots of gathers at the top, I think it's going to be okay. Right, put in the grain line. This is just the front. And grain line. There it is. Can't quite see, I didn't make my mark dark enough, so get the pattern piece back out. Right, now I need my French curve, because as I say, these darts are ever so slightly curvy. And I'm talking like ever so slightly. 45. Okay. So I literally hold up this part of the French curve to the dart and then just move it around till I find the bit that fits in best, and then make a note of the number that's at the top, which was 45 in this case. So I then put that back onto the pattern piece and just trace that on. Again, I've shown you this in like print the sew alongs loads of times. Now I think I have to reinforce a piece and snip into a piece on this one. So I'm just going to put my pattern piece away. Very oddly shaped pattern piece, this one. Go there, and we need to get the destructions out. Let's see, where did I get to? Where did I get to? Quite a way away. Let's see. Evie says, my 9-year-old daughter mentioned you the other day when I accidentally made a protein shake turn into whipped cream and joked that it was keto friendly. She said, tell Shan she might like it. Awesome. Nimue says, it just occurred to me that I'm very sustainable this afternoon. I'm sewing up all the cut-offs from my main quilt blocks into a second blocks. Fabric is too pretty to waste. Oh, nice. Rachel says, what's interesting is that when I was young, we were told to stop using so much paper as it was destroying the rainforest. So we went for plastic as it was reusable. Strange how things change. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We're never going to get it right because we always learn something new down the line where we're like, oh God, we thought that. Wow, we're wrong. Mum and Susan were talking about some of the methods that they were taught when they were younger as nurses that now just like, oh my God, we did what? But at the time, it was the latest cutting edge technology. So, yeah. Julie says, I've been sleeping till 9:30 today and yawning is making me tired again. I'm sorry. Carmen says, I hope to grow more of my own food this year. That includes some of my meat. One advantage of living in the country. Very cool. Yeah, Mum's really looking forward to having a proper garden, kitchen garden this year. Christine says, off for lunch here too. Thanks for your company. Thank you for joining us, Christine. Nimue says people with disabilities or chronic illnesses might need pre-peeled fruit and likes being able to eat them unassisted, but the majority of people buy it out of laziness, and that sucks. That hadn't even occurred to me, Nimue. That hadn't even occurred to me. That's a very good point. But I think it was a Floridian supermarket that first did it. Not saying that anything wrong with Florida, but yeah, that hadn't even occurred to me. Good point. Also, Ashley says the orange thing is weird, lol. They are sold by the kilo here in Turkey, like most veggies and fruits, and start putting broccoli into individual packaging which I hate because it causes moisture inside. Yeah, like that when I went to Saudi to see Mum and Dad, I actually took pictures of this because I was so amazed by it. Let's see. I think it was this year. Riyadh, here we go. Was it that one or was it in October when I went? I think it might have been the October visit. Yeah, it's kind of October. Have I gone too far? I think I might have gone too far. Yes, hang on, sorry. Went the wrong way. But yeah, we went to visit Mum and Dad in Riyadh, and we went to the supermarkets there. And the herb counter was just amazing. Have I got photos? I know I've taken photos. Did I keep them? I think I did, yeah. I think I got rid of the individual pictures, which the other day, it was like, oh, I'm never going to look at those again, which was daft. Oh, no, I did keep them. But yeah, so like the herb counters, everything was just loose and just, you walk past it. It was all in a refrigerated like container, kind of like where the salad bar is in Pizza Hut. But that was the cucumbers. They were so good. But it was all loose, and then you kind of helped yourself to what you needed. I think it was plastic bags rather than paper bags. But it was such a beautiful sight, and then seeing it shopping like that, it was just like, ooh, and just the smell. Oh, it was so nice. Julie says, I like remaking the Star Wars cape. Yes, that's a good example of not throwing things away. Sal says, I have a trench coat made of 100% acetate, including the outer layer and lining. It's gorgeous, both look and touch. Nice. Rachel Lynn says, what are you making? I am making a muslin for the jacket from this pattern. Nimue says, same goes for single-use plastic straws. Some people really don't have a safe alternative, and banning them is ableist. If only we could rely on the majority being responsible. Yeah, I've got I bought myself a cutlery set to live in my handbag, and it's got chopsticks, knife, fork, spoon, and 2 straws in it, with the cleaner for the straws as well. But I appreciate that metal straws can be dangerous, and there have been many accidents with those, so bamboo straws. Carmen says, exactly, to Nimue. Laziness reminds me of the cartoon where everyone sits on their own floating chair. Wall-E. Yeah, Wall-E. I loved that one. And Evie and Nimue say, yeah, it was Wall-E. Have to rewatch that at some point. Yeah, I love that movie. Ashley says to Nimue, 100% pleasure is the issue, not the convenience. Yeah. Sal says to Nimue, I saw a story in which someone had metal straws to use over and over, and she accidentally fell on her drink and died. Yes, yes. Carmen says, yes, that one. Evie says, talk about an eye opening movie. Yeah. Nimoy says to Sal, wow, yes, it's definitely not the worst outcome, but yes, metal and glass can be injury hazards for people with coordination issues, definitely. Ashley says, I came across with some bamboo straws too. Anessa says, hello, Shining Peeps. Hello. Pamisi says, hello, everyone. Priscilla, hello. Nicole says, wow, each time I open this stream, the chat is always talking about something interesting. I actually teach a course about plastics and sustainability. Researching this topic is kind of overwhelming. Yeah. I think that's the thing. I think it's like Nimoy says, there's the majority of us can be responsible, or if the majority of us could be responsible, then a lot of things would be so much better. And it's about everyone making the decisions about what works for them best and making those little changes. And I know little changes aren't going to be going to cut it forever, but we need to start making the little changes so that we can work up to making the bigger changes in our lives. Right. Okay. So what am I doing? Reinforce inner corner of front through small circle as shown. Clip to small circle. That's not helpful. Oh, these directions aren't good. Hang on. Reinforce inner corner of the front through small circle as shown. Clip to small circle. That one? Look at it the same way that the picture on the pattern is. Okay. So I need to clip into that. Okay. To then sew the dart. Okay. Okay. I'm going to cheat a bit and not reinforce that piece because, again, it's only a muslin. So I think I have that right. It looks kind of like the picture. Then we need to sew the little dart in. Okay. Sal says, Nimue, I just saw your Wally comment. I can do its voice. Evie says, Florida is known as the senior state here in the US. It's where lots of folks go to retire. Maybe they don't need their dentures as much there. It might just, it is imperfect recollection of where I actually saw that. I think it might have even been on the Philip DeFranco show, you know. And let's pin this other dart in place. Get that sewn. Put one in. There we go. Claire says, I'm just working out which size to trace off for the Sorrento jacket for my wearable muslin. I've looked at the finished, where'd the rest of your comment go, pattern sizes, and reckon I'm a 16 bust and a 12 to 14 waist. Did you do a full bust adjustment when you made it? No, and oh, it's on here. I did a straight size 10, but the pattern says that I should be a 14 at the bust and I think a 10 at the waist. And there is a lot of ease in the bust. If you have some calico, I would suggest make, because I think Caroline did the same as well. Caroline Gillingham, she made the size that the pattern ended up saying that she should, and it was huge on her. So have you gone by the finished garment measurements rather than the what they say that they should? Evie says to Asley, bamboo straws. You can get bamboo straws, yes. Nimue says to Sal, that's so cool. Wally was just great, both the movie and the character. Yeah. Rachel Lynn says, we Floridians call those that come down here snowbirds since they all come south for the winter. It's interesting. I like that. Alex says, have guests, so have to go. Thank you for the lovely company. Thank you for joining us, Alex. Sal says to Nimue, doing learning character voices is a hobby of mine. Can do about 40 or so. I can have a full-on conversation with myself, lol. Very Robin Williams, I like it. Julie says, I don't like the paper straws, so when I know I'm going to drink something that requires a straw, I bring a reusable from home. Carmen says, lots of this conversation makes me feel so hungry for old-timey-wimey things, despite loving our 21st century awesome things, like this hangout. Yeah, it would be nice to have like a mix. Do you remember when Coca-Cola only used to come in glass bottles, and like milk bottles were always delivered by the milkman in the mornings, and you put like the empties out and you take the empty glass bottles away and then they'd get refilled and things. Right. Do some little dots. Some very teeny tiny darts here. I saw somebody the other day said that she started at the point of her dart because that was the point that she wanted to be the most precise. So, and then sewed down to it, the end of the dart. Let's give that a try. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to need to go and press all of this in a second. So let's turn the iron on. Tie some knots. We'll tie a couple of knots in the ends of our darts. Claire says, yeah, finished garment sizes for the Sorrento jacket. Maybe a wearable muslin in free denim. I think I would do wearable muslin. The reason that I didn't do a muslin is because I got to try Rachel's on, and Rachel had done all the hard work ahead of time. So all I had to do was try it on, and hers fit me really nicely the way it was. But like I say, I think the pattern says that I should do a size 14 for the bust, and I did a straight size 10, and I loved how that fit. So yeah, if wearable muslin is an option, definitely go for it. Jennifer's here. Hello, gorgeous peeps. It's so cold in Texas. Oh, brr. It's chilly here today as well. Mind you, we're up to 21 degrees in here. Okay. So which way am I pressing these darts? Press towards front edge as shown. Okay. So I've got a whole bunch of pressing to do. And then I can sew the body of this together and then try and set in some sleeves. So there you go. I mean, you can have a view of the back of me pressing darts and stuff. Not overly interesting, I'm afraid. I need to press this towards the front. Oh no, that's not the front though, is it? Then I've got to try and sew in those little doodads. It's going to be interesting. Some sleeve seams. Having made both sleeves up, I'm not sure if I'm going to set both of them in. I might do, we'll see. I mean, I've made both of them up. I might as well, mightn't I, actually? Definitely haven't put the right dress on for trying this on today. I've got giant sleeves on this dress. Here's one sleeve done. Let's do the next one. Then I need to press all of the seams in the back panels, and there are a lot of those. I'm thinking for this jacket as well, the pattern just wants you to turn the hem up, but I'm thinking about drafting a hem facing, because it's a really curvy hem. I think the hem facing might be a better idea. Sleeve number 2. Now for some centre back seams. I want to try and get 2 dresses sewn up this week before I go to London on Thursday. The 8167 for the sew along and the 6891 for the sew along. So many of you guys have been asking for the sew along for that shirt dress. Got 2 of them cut out, so they're ready to go. Just need to actually get the sewing done. Okie dokie. So it's that one pressed, sleeves pressed. Now I need to sew in these little weird front panels. How does it want me to do that? It wants me to pivot at the corner, which is ridiculous. Shan't be doing that. Where did I get to? Let's see. Oh, itchy nose. Oh wow, I'm really behind with the chat, sorry. Ashley says, does that happen with sew over it patterns? Other sew over it patterns, I mean. Yeah, I've ended up coming down 2 sizes on my sew over Eve dress as well. I talk about it in the review that I did for that pattern. I just think they allow a little bit more extra ease for the types of dresses than I prefer. But again, it's one of those things that once you've worked out how to identify what size you want, then you can make informed decisions about which finished garment measurements you use. Alison says, hello, Shan and Peeps. Just a quick hello for today as I'm having an early night. It's been a beautiful summer day here in Bendigo. How is Chiana today? She's very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us, but early night sounds like a good idea. Julie says, we in Denmark have bottle return system. We also work with cans and then we get 1 to 3 kronas back for every bottle can we return. Awesome. Claire C says, great, thanks, no worries. Jennifer says hi to Alison. Nimue says, I started hand basting my darts with a ladder stitch, overdoing it by making 1 centimetre steps along the legs to match exactly. So much more precise than I will ever manage before, so worth the effort to me. That is a really good way of sewing darts, yeah. Jennifer says to Julie, we do recycling here in Texas, but some states do have dollars for bottles. Alison says, I've managed to get your Vogue pattern, Sean. We'll send them over along with the QQ pattern swap from last year too. I attended the Bendigo chapter of the Australian Sewing Guild yesterday. Oh, how fun, and thank you. And Alison says, hello to Jennifer. How is your day going? It's after midnight here in Australia, so it's really now Monday. Wow. Jenna says, put both sleeves in as you will get a better impression of how the jacket will fit, especially around the chest. Ask me how I know. Yeah, I know I need to be good. Thank you for reminding me. Jennifer says to Alison, it's only 7:30 a.m. here in Texas and only 30 degrees Fahrenheit, so very cold. I just woke up. You're way ahead of me. Alison says, Shan, I also have the other patterns for you too that I will send. Thank you. Nimue says, Germany has 2 bottle return systems, one where glass and hard plastic get cleaned and refilled, and one for soft PET and cans that get recycled. The first one has existed for ages. Awesome. Jennifer says to Nimue, in the US it depends on the state, which I find depressing. Yeah. Alison says to Jennifer, I'm just about to go back to bed with my beautiful Binks, who keeps meowing at me as he is in the habit of telling me when it's time to go to bed. You should need to listen to Binks. Jennifer says, because of a lot of people don't recycle their cans, bottles, because there is no money incentive in their state. And Jennifer says hi to Binks. Rachel Lynn says, what pattern are you making for the Black History pattern designers? I would like to make something from Chinello's book. And I had it signed. I met her at the handmade, the Kirsty Allen's show at Ragdale Hall. So I want to do something. I want to do something from her book, which I'm a tad scared about and might cop out and do one of the simpler projects. In fact, she's got a sleeve block in here, so I might start with the sleeve block. Where did I get to in the chat? Jennifer says to Alison, my Penelope Wigglebottom does the same because right before bed we play the dot laser tag game. Oh. Sal says, we in Australia, depending on state, have a bottle can recycling system. 1 can equals 10 cents. Jennifer says, my fault, I was chatty. Alison says to the Jennifer, Binks does it as he wants to go to sleep so he can wake me at daybreak to let him go outside. Don't worry, we're on an acre of land and he has to go out to check his domain. Nice. Carmen says, when you are torn between making a dress or separates out of a whimsical fabric, what would you do? And what top pattern would you make that's close to a pinafore-like looking? Oh, I don't know about pinafore-like looking, but I have some fabric back here, the summer weight wool that I've got from Stitch Fabrics. I think it's a Dolce & Gabbana fabric, and I want to make a dress out of it, but I also want separate. So now that I've perfected the by hand London and a top, I'm going to do a 3/4 circle skirt and a by hand London top out of that. For a pinafore, could you possibly do, well, no, because that wouldn't work as a top then. I was going to say, could you do it so you button the pinafore onto the skirt so that you have a skirt and dress kind of look, but then it wouldn't work as the pinafore wouldn't work as an individual piece? Does anyone else have any ideas? Jennifer says to Alison, we can't let our babies out because we have a busy road, but they're quite spoiled inside. Nice. Ashley says, I'm really curious how this jacket you're working on will come out. Me too. Me too. I am struggling a bit, so I am probably going to call it a day after I have finished this jacket. I would do it now, but I want to show you what this jacket looks like. So I'm going to power through and get it sewn up and try it on, and we can see together what it looks like, because I'm intrigued by it as well. Dipsy552 says, in New York, plastic glass bottles and cans are returned for 5 cents each, but not all, which doesn't make sense, and they have to say it can be returned in New York on it. Oh wow. Alison says, I didn't have any successful sewing day. I'm making the Pietra pants and somehow it has pleat, and I'm not going to unpick as it will wreck them. Oh. Julia's gardening diary says, hi everyone, joining from Lancashire, UK, sitting crocheting granny squares and watching Sian sew a perfect Sunday afternoon, if you ask me. Oh, thank you, Julia, and thank you for joining us. Sal says, there's a sci-fi story about the sun is about to destroy the earth, so every city on earth was to recycle to make massive ships to leave the earth. Ah, yeah. What one was that? That rings bells. But my brain's a bit fuzzed at the moment. Alison says to Jennifer, we are fortunate to live in a no-through road. When we were house hunting, the road where our prospective house had to be on a quiet road because of binks. And Jennifer says, make a vest a piece that attaches to the skirt and then make it look like a faux pinafore. Dipsy says, 552 says it's 12 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 11 degrees centigrade in my part of New York, so pretty cold. Yeah, I mean, I'm complaining it's about 8 degrees outside plus. So, yeah, it's chilly, but not that chilly. But then I'm always cold, aren't I? I don't know, I am a lizard person. Okay. So this is another one of those ones that's got a pivot point. So I'm sewing up to the pivot point and I'm going to backstitch, and then I'm going to take everything out and repin rather than just trying to pivot with my needle down, because that's frustrating and annoying and difficult. And I don't like things if they're frustrating, annoying and difficult. Okay. Chuck my notch. Readjust. Pivot point. And get the rest of this pinned into place. I'm pretty sure I am going to draft a facing for the skirt hem of this jacket, just because it is so curved. I think it will look much nicer than trying to turn up the fabric in the curve. like I said, I need to find some cuffs that I can splice onto this as well, because I think cuffs on the bottom of the sleeve are going to look nice. Let's see. Yeah, I've got the dart on the outside of this, but that's fine. It's a right angle, that'll do. So let's pin the other one in. Jennifer says, please remember to like the live. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, there's 147 of us and 84 likes. Carmen says, hadn't considered a vest. That's a good idea. That would be very nice. Jennifer says to Carmen, yay. Christine says, bonjour, Peeps and Sean. Cold here in Montreal, minus 20 degrees to centigrade again. What are you making today? I am sewing. Where's the pattern gone? A muslin for the jacket from this pattern. Jennifer says, FYI, does anyone hear questions for Bernadette Banner? I'm meeting with her today. I talk to her once a month. Very nice. Tell her that she definitely should do the full moraine outfit, the walking outfit, the adventure outfit, because it would be awesome on her. Right. And here we go. Nimue says, the winter is way too warm in our corner of the world. We've only been used to below 3. I've only been used to below 3 degrees centigrade colour in my temperature blanket twice. It was raining so hard earlier. It looked like more like dusk than midday. Wow. Alison says, annoying and difficult. I am all about to start on the teddy top by Starlight Patterns. Lucky they have a video tutorial on the most complicated part of the pattern, which is the collar. Good luck with that. Crockett TP says, morning all. Alison says, no, you're Priscilla, aren't you? Parisi, I'm sorry, I've got that wrong earlier. Oh, well, my brain's a little foggy today. Alison says, has any Peeps made a garment and when they finished it and tried it on, they don't like it? I made the Tempo sundress by Love Notions and don't like how it looks on me, sadly. Yes, I've done that a fair few times. Laurel says, good morning, Sean and Peeps. I've moved from my shirt muslin to making a real fabric, Liberty Winterberry. Ooh, nice. Crockett TP says, Bernadette Banner, that's cool. Vanessa says, I actually got to go for a walk yesterday because it was finally warmer than minus 20 degrees, but then that meant we got around 10 centimetres of snow. Oof. Jen and Pin says, if I get my study sorted out this afternoon, I'm going to reward myself with some sewing this evening and need to check which thread I've got in the overlocker. Need dark for one and light for the other. Yeah, make sure you prep the right project then. Dee says, hi all, bit late as usual. Welcome, Dee. Jennifer says to Christine, bonjour, my extended birth family is from Montreal. Christine says, cool, Sean, that coat will be epic, hopefully. Jennifer says, hello to Dee. Nessa says, Alison, I made a sweater and a cardigan last week and forgot I don't like the yellow on me, so gave it to my mum, lol, aw. Jennifer says, good morning to Crockett TP. Christine says, cool, to the Age of Fabulous. And the Age of Fabulous, Jennifer says to Dee Brown, nope, right on time. Sal says, before you go, Sean, tell me your favourite Matrix action scene. My idea for the art is to make your face into Matrix code with a scene reflected in your glasses. Ah, that's cool. I think it would have to be sort of the Trinity where she does the kind of like crane kick in the middle. I like that one. I'm completely sewing these with not the right sides together, which is daft, but I've put the darts on the outside, but never mind. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay. Do not sew over my pins. Yeah, I definitely think Bernadette Banner should make her marine Sedai adventure outfit. Trousers, the whole shebang. Because it would be awesome. Okie dokie. So pivot everything around. And so I find this so much easier rather than trying to have to rejig the fabric under the sewing machine when you have pivot points. And backstitching at the pivot point is usually not the worst thing in the world, because like this pattern, I've had to cut into it to get that pivot point. And so backstitching at that area, just reinforcing it, is not the worst thing in my book. So let's get that all pinned into place, and we can sew this one. And then they need to be pressed, and then I can sew the shoulder seams and side seams. And put in my sleeves plural, because I'm going to be good and do both, not just one, as much as I would like to be lazy, because it will give me a better idea of fit. Gin and pins is correct. Okay, done that one. So you'll just have to forgive me that some of my darts and things are on the outside when they should be on the inside. And back seam, centre back seam is on the wrong bit as well. It's not intentional. It was me just not paying 100% attention to what I was doing. Right, let's get the back bodice. And we shall sew on our shoulder seams, and then also our side seams. Then I can go and press everything open and get my sleeves installed, which will be exciting. Alison says, good night, Shan and Peeps. When I have finished the teddy top, I will post a picture in the Peeps group. I am going to Melbourne on Tuesday, first time in about 3 years. Yes, we'd love to see what you've made and have a fabulous time. Carmen says to Jennifer, oh, wow. No, not out of hand, but I thought about a question I would have. It would turn into so many questions. Just send Miss Bernadette warmest regards and thank you for what she does. Dee says, I'm sewing a bag, so we'll be listening more than watching as the screen is behind me. So what are you sewing, Sean? I'm sewing the Angela Clayton Walking Ensemble jacket, 7732. I'm doing a muslin of it. Alison says, I'm going to go back to my old hairdresser for a decent cut, as I can't find a stylist in Bendigo, and the hairdresser I'm going to, I first went to when I was 5 and I'm now 52. Wow, lots of love to Chiana. Thank you, Alison. Have a wonderful time. And Binks sent purrs and headbutts to all. Thank you very much, Binks. Crockett TP says, Sean, do you pretty much use the dual feed feature all the time? Yes, because Seaside Mom yelled at me until I did. In a nice way. In a nice way. yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Dee says, sends a little emoji to Jennifer. Jennifer says to Carmen, I am fortunate enough that I can ask her questions anytime, but feel free to send them to me via the Peeps group. Sal says, who gives a dart? Not us. Love it, Sal. Thank you. Jennifer says to Alison, good night, enjoy your trip. Jennifer says, I need to change my picture too. My hair is much longer. I saw you put a couple of pictures up the other day. Jennifer says to Crockett TP, I do as well on my machine. Use the dual feed. And Dee says, thanks, Sean. Have you done the Vogue cowl top yet? I've ordered the pattern, so would love to see it. I haven't. I've got it cut out. I haven't sewn it yet. I have been doing mass cutting out sessions, as you guys know, so I have a lot of projects to do. And I leave for London on Thursday for 12 days. So I'm hoping, as I say, to get those 2 sew-along dresses done before I leave so that I can get the videos up whilst I'm away. That is the plan. We shall see how that plan goes. So the sizing on this pattern was quite interesting because it is sized as if you're wearing a corset underneath. So it's going to be interesting to see how this little jacket comes out. It'll be one of those cases where it's probably going to fit like beautifully, and I wouldn't have needed to make a muslin, but we all know that if I hadn't made a muslin, then there would have been a million fit issues with it. I mean, I'm not expecting this to fit completely perfectly. It will be interesting to see how it fits, because the front's not meant to overlap on this one. It's meant to be closed with hooks and eyes, and then you've got decorative buttons and loops, which I would like to put on. And I have a feeling I might want to slim down the collar a little bit. Sorry, not the lapels on this jacket. I haven't cut out the collar of muslin because I didn't. It's not that. I thought I would. It'll be fine. I like the collar part as is. I think the lapels might be a little bit big for me, but we shall see. We shall see. Final side seam. Then I need to go and press a whole bunch of stuff, and the iron is still hot, so that's good. And how do they want me to press those bits? Yeah, I just want to press it flat. Right, just going to go press this, and I'll be back in a second. Oh, you know what this would look lovely in? Red. It might look a little bit ringmaster, but this could look really nice in red. I don't have any red wool. I'd need to buy some. Okay, so could look nice as a waistcoat as well. These lapels are huge. Oh, I don't know actually. You know what? They might not be too bad because obviously you've got to bear in mind that there's a seam allowance on this. Right, so let's get some sleeves, some sleevels set in. So see, where did I get to with the chat? Harriet says, I'd love to meet Bernadette. She's definitely one of my sewing idols. I would love to as well. I'm always hoping I'll bump into her on the Goldhawk Road. Carmen says, dual feed sounds fabulous. Use my walking foot a lot, especially with fiddly fabrics. Yeah, dual feed is really, really nice. Okay, so that's the right hand sleeve. So this is the left hand sleeve. Jennifer says, I know I have no bangs and I got the Dyson Airwrap for Christmas. The PS5 for girls is so fun. Used to use and can do my hair in 15 to 20 minutes now. Nice. Also, the device only weighs about half a pound, so it's so stinking light. And because of my condition, don't have any type of dislocation, subluxation. That's awesome. Ashley says, are you planning on to make a new designer dupe video? I am indeed. I am doing research as we speak. Sal says, by the way, Sean, I'm taking my oldest son in April for his birthday to the filming location in Sydney of The Matrix, including where Trinity escapes via phone before the agent hits him with a truck. Very cool. Linnea says, I've been listening now for a while and have brought down a big IKEA hemness dresser that's going to be part of my new cutting table. Bought it cheap, secondhand, sustainable, and so happy about it. Awesome. Laura says, question, when I take out my pins and thread tacks, pins and needle holes remain in the cotton lawn. Massaging fabric a bit reduces them, but they don't go away entirely. Will they eventually? See, do it in front of my face. This little red bit, use him to massage your holes when you things. That's what this little bit's designed for, to massage the holes. And yes, I've noticed that they eventually do go away, especially once they've been laundered. But that's another thing, you need to double check with each fabric ahead of time before putting pins into the part of the fabric that will be seen. And if they don't go away, then think about pinning in the seam allowance, and then don't use a gathering method that I do. Sal says Jennifer says to Sal, happy birthday to your son. How old will he be? Linnea says, I was not clear. I had to carry it down to our basement where my new sewing room will be. Oh, wow. Did you do that by yourself? That's impressive. Sal says to Jennifer, he's going to be 17. Jennifer says, FYI, I've never watched Lord of the Rings or the Matrix movies. Hangs head in shame. They came out whilst I was in college. I worked full-time, went to school full-time, and ended up with 4 degrees. Humble brag. And then what a great age to Sal. Definitely worth catching up on, Jennifer. They are awesome. Jennifer says to Laurel, what type of fabric? Are you steaming it with an iron? Dee says, that jacket looks lovely. Thank you. Carmen says, lol, only Lol, only return it ringmaster adjacent if you add the gold braid. Well, I'm thinking about silver buttons. Could look like a riding coat, couldn't it? But remember, I'm also going to be making like pirate core stuff, so it could end up very Captain Hook. Jennifer says, love the jacket, Shan. Thank you. Laurel says to Jennifer, Liberty Cotton Lawn, didn't check last night after pressing, but the morning light, they are almost all gone, but not all. My experience is they do eventually, but yeah. Sal says, I watched both The Matrix and The Ring trilogy hundreds of times. I can say both dialogues word for word whilst watching. Yeah. Jennifer says, I don't know about The Matrix, but the usual Lord of the Ring book was better. I'm a bit afraid of what A Dog's Dinner, Death on the Nile would be. Hated Murder on the Orient Express. I kind of liked it, but it was a while ago. I'm looking forward to seeing Death on the Nile, but I haven't read the books. Jennifer says, yeah, lawn is a looser fabric and will be less forgiving. I agree with Shan. Julie says, my baby girl says, hi. Hello. Linnea says, yes, carried it myself since the family is sick, but it was in pieces, so no problem. Oh, good, because that's a big dresser. You need to look after yourself, Linnea. You're pregnant. Not that pregnant ladies can't do things. That's not what I'm saying. Oh, God. Another can of worms. Right. So match up the squares. Then match up the notches. And if the notches match, there we go. Okay. And second notch. Here we go. And then we need to match up the. Now I put a notch in, but it's meant to be the circle with the shoulder seam. And then pull all the gathering stitches. And get this beast of a sleeve into place. Because it is a beast of a sleeve. Lots of gathering. But I like a big poofy sleeve. We all know I am into statement sleeves at the moment. Like I say, I may have put the wrong dress on for trying on this jacket. Because I have giant poofy sleeves on this dress. But we will attempt. I'm really excited to see Death on the Nile. I hope it's good. But then I did enjoy. I mean, I suppose I'm not much of a movie critic. There were a few, but there's a Bruce Willis one on Now TV that was awful. It's like an alien movie. No, I couldn't finish it. It was that bad. But I mean, I tend to enjoy really bad movies as well. Like, I really want to go and take Wilson to see The Room, because it is just so bad it's good. I'm hoping that like a group of us can go and see it. It's on again in March at the Prince Charles Theatre. There is some serious poof in the sleeves, caps of these sleeves. Some serious poof. I've got the soundtrack to the Buffy musical episode going around in my head at the moment. Especially I'm Under Your Spell. I've no idea where that's come from. I haven't watched that in ages. No idea where that's come from. But I cannot get it out of my brain. And I'm sorry if you've now all got an earworm as well. Right. Time for some sleeves. Again, I'm trying not to get tucks and puckers in this, but it really doesn't overly matter because it is a muslin. Do not sew over my pins. I always like a sleeve like this where it's meant to have gathers at the top because you don't have to be setting it in like totally smooth. Always takes some of the pressure off. Nearly there. Okay, so that's one sleeve in. Oh, that's a poofy boy. Poofy, poofy. Might want to add some like a sleeve cap to that to get it to properly stand up with wool, and you know, because you want it to properly words are hard, properly poof. Okay, so let's get the second one in, then I can try it on. And we'll see how many, and if it needs adjusting. Hoping it won't need too much adjusting. But again, we shall see. We shall see. Let's get the top in. Then pin up to the bit that the gathers start. And then put in the gathers. Where did we get to? I'm miles behind, aren't we? Where do we get to? Laurel says, somehow I hadn't thought cotton would be finicky like that. So I had one cotton that I was using for a project. I hated it, and I ended up not even finishing the project and just stuffing something with it because it was awful. Yeah, you don't think of cotton as misbehaving itself, do you? Let's see. Jennifer says to Linnea, you're a superhero. Linnea says, haha, no, I need to be a bit careful. Sitting on my Pilates ball to rest the hip now. Yes. And Sal says, Sean is cancelled by the preggy comment. Jennifer says to Linnea, also ice is a friend. Nimue says, the first Matrix movie was one of 3 possibilities for my oral arbiter exam in music. Ended up getting the original Planet of the Apes instead. Third option was Metropolis. Very cool. Pin in some gathers. Wordena says, is this making a toilet? What pattern are you currently making currently? And then she said, lol, toile, not toilet. I thought that's what you meant. I'm doing the jacket from this one. Oh dear. You got to love autocorrect, haven't you? Julie says, didn't you know the rest of the world pregnant women are made of the finest crystal? Yes. Now I am aware that there are lots of things that you can totally do and that other people think that you shouldn't. Yes, that was a silly comment. I'm sorry. It wasn't the only thing, the reason you should be careful of yourself when lifting heavy objects. I used to make a lot of IKEA furniture by myself that was like, yeah, you need 2 people for this. And I was just like, nah. Nearly dropped a desk lid on myself or a desktop on myself. And, it's like, perhaps I ought to be a little bit more careful. Don't want to break any fingers. So it wasn't to imply that you couldn't do the thing, which I think you got, but yeah. Okay. Jennifer says to Wardena, a jacket, not a toilet. Linnea says, hearing pillows are a friend when you're pregnant, especially for post-pregnancy pain. Heating pillows. Jennifer says to rolling on the floor laughing at the toilet comment. Yeah. Jennifer says to Linnea, yes, if it's not super hot, but I only know about it for bones, joints, not pregnancy. Can't carry a baby. No worries, I'm good. Right, let's just get this last little bit pinned into place. Sal says, my real name was changed because of a movie. Laurel says, I finally watched The Matrix the other day and was tickled by the fact that all the intersections named were in Chicago. Oh, cool. Jennifer says, love that episode of Buffy. Yeah. Ashley says, now it's playing in all our heads too. Yeah, sorry about that. Leslie says, I'm taking my aunt on Friday to see Death on the Nile. Love the first one. We planned to see it when it was due out 2 years ago, but the first lockdown happened. Yeah. Jennifer says, and the musical episode of Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. Carmen says, there is some serious poof in those sleeves. I'd say it's a good thing for you and the whole statement sleeve thing. Yeah. Linnea says, yes, I'm talking about the rice bags, perfect for muscle pain and joint pain as well. Rice bags. Gin and Pin says, I'm reading it again at the moment. Production usually combine characters and plots or leave them out altogether. I think I've read more Agatha Christie books, so I'm used to the disappointment. Oh. Jennifer says, we are anxiously waiting the new movie with Tom Holland, Uncharted. Already have tickets. Nice. Ashley says, love Poirot TV series. Think I'll watch it again. Oh, yeah, I did too. I think my favourite one was when they were on holiday. And the girl came down and she was like this little wallflower up until the end, and it turns out she was a murderer, and it was like she was a proper glamazon. Sorry if I've just spoiled it for everybody. Wow, sorry. Sar says, I hope one of my stories becomes a movie one day. That would be very cool. Carmen says, I'm always torn when they make movies into books. I'm trying to give the movie grace for trying, unless the book become the most almost unrecognizable. I remember going to watch Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter movie, for the first time and just being hugely disappointed in it. And then, because I'd read the book like years before it came out. And then I reread the book and then went and watched the movie again. And I thought the movie was so much better when I had the subtext of the book going over in my head. So, yeah. Jennifer says to Sal, that would be amazing. Gig Gracer says, hi Peeps, just finished an intense and exhausting shift. Hope you're all well and enjoying the hangout. Have I missed anything important? Just lots of muslin making, or I've got lots of muslins to make, but I think I'm only going to get the one done today. Ashley says, I think it's about doing it justice, even if you leave some things out. Lord of the Rings is a perfect example of that, yeah. Jennifer says to Carmen, I am a reader myself, but I'm on my 4th Kindle. I read every night before bed. Johanna says, I'm watching Around the World in 80 Days with David Tennant. Not at all faithful to the book, but still fun. I really want to see that. Carmen says, Poirot and Mrs. Marple were staples for our TV watching list. Priscilla says, I just watched all of the Emily in Paris episodes. Loved it. Hope they come out with another season. I've watched all of them. I thought it was incredibly light and fluffy. I did think that some of the criticisms leveled at it were valid, but I watched it all and enjoyed it all. Ashley says, Carmen, yes, I get to watch the whole series years later. Miss Marple too. Also watched the Midsummer Murders too. Those types of TV series in Turkey are not that good, so happy with the British ones. Now started the Gilded Age. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm saving it up though, so I can watch it in a binge. Carmen says, I'm addicted to paper books and have lots of secondhand loves at the age of fabulous. To Jennifer, books do not run out of batteries, but I do admit the Kindles have their place. Yeah, I don't actually read physical books very much at all anymore. I bought myself a Kindle because I was going on holiday and I wanted to pack 18 books, and that was just ridiculous. And I read 14 of them on holiday, so I'm really glad that I've got a Kindle, but I just tend to listen to stuff on Audible now. The only time that I actually read is when I'm on holiday. And that's usually because I've been concentrating all day sewing. So the idea of then having to concentrate on a book, my eyes just won't tolerate it. Priscilla says to Ashley, I want to watch that one too. Sal says, the oldest movie I own digitally is Roberts, 1935, starring Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Oh, cool. Ashley says, reader and watcher here. Jennifer says to Carmen, I can't hold books anymore because of my condition. They're too heavy. I used to work for a paper company, so I used to be very anti-digital media, but my body over paper. Carol says, Emily in Paris has been renewed for seasons 3 and 4. Ah. Sonia says, sorry I'm late. That's all right, Sonia, welcome. Carmen says, Midsummer Murders and several others are often my go-to for me. Amazing, most of my favourites have British accents or Aussie. Yeah, Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, I can watch that over and over again. And I always question anyone that moves to Midsummer. Like, why would you move to such a place? So many murders. It's like the same whenever you see oh, what was her name? Murder, She Wrote. Whenever you see her coming, why do you not run immediately in the opposite direction? So yeah, I'm up to halfway through season 8 of Supernatural. Loving it. They've just discovered their legacies. Men of Letters. Let's get my second sleeve in. We can try this bad boy on. have still got that song going around in my head as well. And I'm sorry for all of you who have also passed on that earworm too. I really do need to write myself out a cheat sheet of all your guys' like on-screen aliases and real names and stuff, so that I don't get them wrong. Oops. Poofy sleeves. I'm gonna confess, I think I've told you guys this before, but I actually don't press my sleeve seams once I've sewn them in. They're the ones that I do leave bouncy. I'll steam them sometimes, but I tend to not press them, which is very naughty. If this fits, I should be spending the rest of the evening unpicking it all. I've sewn it with a 4.0 stitch length, so it should be fairly easy to unpick. Right, I'm going to trim off some of these threads because there is a lot of stray thread floating around here. Lots of stray threads. Then we could try it on. Well, I mean, when I say we, me. If I do unpick this afternoon, this evening, I'm going to have to remember to not leave the threads lying out around Shiana because I cannot afford another £400 vet bill. If she eats it like she did last time, little madam. Let's see. I've got another sleeve to trim. Done one. Let's do the other one. Okay. Great. Okay, so some of this was sewn with the wrong sides out, so you'll have to excuse me for that. Let's see. Oh, got me button caught on cardigan. It's no good. Where are we up to with the chat? Let's see. Oh wow, very behind, sorry. Carmen says Midsummer Murders and several. Yeah, read that one, sorry. Gig Racer says I'm reading Crucially's Legacy series by Jacqueline Carey at the moment. It's one of my favourite, and I think it would be a great series for a TV. I only read a few paperbacks now, the rest on iPhone. Jennifer says Jessica Lansbury, that's it, thank you. And Jennifer also says, welcome to Sonia, you're right on time. Sal says to Jennifer, talking about heavy books, I have a box set of complete DC Sandman comic that weighs 9.5 kilos. Wow. Julie says, I'm watching Roswell, New Mexico at the moment. It's weirdly intriguing. When I am not watching it, it's not that important to me, but when I'm watching it, I can't stop watching it again. Carmen says Supernatural, they consider a prequel TV show about the parents is the rumour, working title The Winchesters. Yeah, it's been confirmed for a pilot, hasn't it? They said that the other day. Was it Jensen Ackles said it the other day on his thingy, on his Instagram? Moran says, now I'm watching Korean television while sewing, find myself love my husband even more after every episode. Aww. Johanna says, I saw a bumper sticker with a picture of Angela Lansbury, and that said, I killed them all. A cracked up park at the parking lot. Nice. Rachel Lynn says, I missed a few things, including the earworm. Yay. Jennifer says to Sal, oh my gosh, that's heavy. SSUGH1 says, if I get the Buffy earworm, it's usually the short mustard song. They got the mustard out. Yes. I can't sing, so I won't do that again. Jennifer says to Julie, love things like that. Ashley says, just finished 2 series about cults on Netflix, Archive 81 and the Spanish one. Jennifer says to Johanna, you're right. I was combing the character's name with the actress's name. Real dough. Julie says, you are very good at remembering everybody, Sean. Would never be able to. I don't know. Fiona says, I'm watching Bloodline on Netflix. Nice. Carmen says, Archive 81 started it, but only 2 episodes in. Got lured into Ozark. Good grief, the insanity. Jennifer says, I just watched the Tinder swindler documentary. It was so interesting, but why did women take out those loans? Oh my goodness, I haven't seen that. Jen and Pin says, I'm trying to get through the habit of switching off the TV off if I'm not interested in reading a book instead, or listening to a play if doing something crafty. Nice. Asley says, just watched that last night. It was crazy. Asley, that was to Jennifer. Rachel Lynn says, I made a Birder style jacket. I did put it in the Peeps group, but I figured out that I can't wear it. I would need to full bicep adjustment. Kind of makes me sad. Aww. Would you remake it? Could you remake the sleeves? Mind you, everyone said that to me about my blue coat, and then I was just like, I haven't got the fabric. So, yeah. Jennifer says to Gin and Pins, I need the background noise or my anxiety rises. Asley says, my bestie said if he was handsome, she could easily be one of those women. A scary thought. Oh, wow. Key Gracer says, I have to ration when I read because I have no self-control and must read from start to finish. Yeah, I used to do that. Sarah says, good morning. Hi, Sarah. Jennifer says, welcome to Sarah. Sal says, I need background noise as well because I have the form of autism that my brain is always thinking of something. Yeah, I have to have background noise as well, otherwise I can't turn my mind off. Asley says, I'm watching things when I'm knitting. Nimue says, Sean, I have a little trash can meant for a cup holder in a car. I got it to spring-loaded flap that wouldn't be easy to push open for Chi. Might be a safe option for the threads. Ooh, yeah. Asley says, also audiobooks are good for it too. Yes. Nimue says, I got it as a merchandise, so not sure where to get one. Asley says, the Winchesters. Yes, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Gin and Pin says, I usually have some noise in the background as well, otherwise I lose track of time. Linnea says, totally stuck in Snowpiercer right now, can't stop. I loved Snowpiercer. Sal says to Moran, you should watch Korean movies, The Villainess. It has a female version of John Wick that could kick his butt. Oh, wow. Kathleen says, yes, having a cat is like having a toddler in the house. Got to watch for falling pins and thread. Just had a cat decide to sit on my foot pedal as I was carefully top stitching. Oh, she was helping. Rachel Lynn says, I don't have fabric. I don't have the fabric and the lining with stuff that I'd had for a very long time, and the store doesn't even exist anymore. Oh, Rachel Lynn, I'm so sorry. Would it work as a waistcoat? Sorry, it's probably when people were saying to me like about my blue coat, oh, could you do this? Could you do that? I was like, no, I've thought of all these things. Trust me. I need to go in and just take the seam allowance, let the seam allowance out on mine. Julie says, I read at night in bed. Carmen says, binge watching is a thing and a problem. Yes. Dee says, Amazon have some small trash cans with lids. I bought one actually. It was supposed to be for my food scraps in my kitchen in my last place, and I didn't pay attention to the size when it arrived, so Mum now has it, and Mum sticks all of her threads and stuff in it. But yeah, definitely one that's spring loaded, because otherwise Chiana would just play with the lid of that. I think I'm going to have to take my dress off to try this thing on, because I don't think these sleeves are going to fit into the jacket, so I'm going to do that in a second. Gig Racer says, I'm rewatching Buffy again whilst I sew and breaking my new machine up to the end of season 1. Very nice. And Jennifer says to Kathleen, I had that happen on a project that I was due for a client. I had to start over completely. Oh no. Oh no. Naughty kitties. Very naughty kitties. I will show you what it looks like. I have got a slip on, so it won't be indecent for me to show you what it looks like, but I want to give it a chance, and it just won't fit over these sleeves. We know that. So let's give this a try. Oh, the shoulders are weirdly big. And I do need to lengthen it by about an inch. But the shoulders, like I need to take the shoulders in by a good inch. So I'm just pinning the seam allowance together down the front, because that's how it will eventually kind of I actually don't mind those lapels, because they're going to get, again, be 5/8 of an inch smaller, but the my shoulders here is a good inch I need to take out of that, and that's much better. And yeah, the waist is quite considerably. I think I probably actually need to drop that down. Yeah. So yeah, that, just taking that in, that little bit up the top there, is much better. The sleeve is a good length as is, so I do need to add length to the sleeve as well, but the curve of the sleeve is sitting at where it should, so that's nice. But yeah, that shoulder needs to come in quite considerably, and the waist needs to come down quite considerably as well. So glad that I made the muslin, because yeah, this is starting, the waist is quite a lot off on the back. Interesting. Rachel Lynn says, I don't know about the waistcoat, maybe. But I doubt it, honestly. It's more sad because of the work. Oh well, I'll see if a friend can wear it. That would be nice. Linnea says, my favourite book series is the story of Clan Otari. Have you read it, Sean? I haven't, no. Carmen says, start humming burlesque tune. Oh wow, not bad for a start. Jennifer says, do you need to lengthen it? Yes, I do, yeah. I measured the this centre back seam, and it was 17 inches to there, and my back is 17 inches from, but it's come up quite a lot further at the top. So, and I do want a close fit. So this coming in like this is fine. And I do want a close fit kind of here. This is not the kind of coat that I would want to wear bulky things underneath of it. It would be like a little jacket to go on top. So yeah. Sal says, Buffy has a massive paradox. Sarah Michelle Gellar is in the Scooby-Doo movie, and the Buffy and her friends are called the Scooby Gang. Yeah. Amber says, I love that style. Looks great. Sarah says, oh, that's going to be lovely. Gig Racer says, oh, that's looking lovely. Once the alteration's done, it will be fantastic. Jennifer says, yeah. Ashley says, love the shape. I like Rachel Lynn says, I like the lapels. It's a good start. Yeah, I was worried these were going to be too big, but I think they're actually pretty good, because by the time you've sewn the seam allowance on, they're going to come to about here. So I might slim them down just a little bit. I might take that kind of like wing out and kind of make them come like that instead. But I do like those. The front isn't too bad. The back is not good, and the shoulder is mad. Yeah, that's not a bad start. I do like the poofiness at the shoulder. I might go for a slightly bigger arm. But yeah. Definitely need to add length to the sleeves. Yeah, I'm gonna have a play around with this, but I'm glad that I made the muslin. This definitely needs to come down. The flare needs to come from here. So yeah, not a bad start. Not a bad start. Ashley says looks lovely. Laurel says looks really good. Linnea says lovely. Tailor jackets are so flattering. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like once I get the fit on this properly correct, I think it's going to look really nice, but it does mean I'm going to have to make a completely new muslin, so I'm going to have to buy some more calico. Julie says great starting point, you will get there with it. Yes, like I say, the sleeves are the perfect length as is, so, and I want to add a cuff to them just because I think it would help balance out the top part. But this is definitely a very me jacket, very me indeed. Nimue says, might want to adjust the lapel if you're taking the shoulders in. It might bump into the sleeve head, but overall the shape is really great on you. Yeah, I think I'm just going to kind of like make this a little bit more gentle, this lapel, because it is very, very long. And I was thinking that I want to hold it down with like a button up there. So this, yeah. Claire says that's going to be lovely. Thank you. Moran says to Sal, it's going on my list. Thank you. Jenny Pin says have to go now. Nice to see you all. See you all next time. Thank you for joining us. Michelle's here. Hello. Hi, Michelle. Sarah says, have you seen the historical costuming trick of putting a shoulder roll into the poof to help it not deflate? Yes. Yes, I think I'm going to do something along those lines. Do you think maybe I need a slightly larger sleeve? But I do think all the curves on the sleeve are where they should be, like the elbow curve. Just need a little bit more length in the forearm. Ashley says, do you do any adjustments? Yeah, I'm going to need to do quite a few. Irene says the silhouette fits you so well. Thank you. I think this is going to be quite a well-worn piece in my wardrobe when I get there. So I'm going to add an inch of length so that this bit kind of comes down to, because bear in mind that once you've taken out the seam allowance out of this, it's way too high. this all needs to come down quite a lot. So yeah, I think this back cut, yeah, needs to be to the waist, and then that things come down from there. So I grab my pen, just gonna make a rough kind of like, this is where my waist is on the back of the thing. Carmen says definitely would try on with something long sleeved underneath it in case you need to add a bicep adjustment. No, I'm definitely going to do a bicep adjustment, just to add myself a little bit more wiggle room in there, because the thing that I'm going to want to wear it with are like my Paola neck t-shirts and like things like that, with jeans or trousers possibly. So yeah, I'm going to take this off, put my dress back on, and I'll be back in a second. Yeah, so this is the smallest part here, and this is where I need the smallest part to be. So I need to add like 1.5 inches, maybe even 2 inches to the length. Yeah, about 2 inches to length. And then I need to take 1 inch in on the shoulders as well. So I'll just might make a mark there. So definitely going to have to adjust the pattern and then just make a totally new mock-up. But that's what these are for, is to test the fit and to see what needs to happen. So I put my instructions back into here. This over here. And I think I'll put my mock-up on my mannequin for now, so it's got somewhere to live. Because I need to keep that so that I can reference things again. But yeah, not a bad starting point, and it has definitely kind of underlined that I would like one of those dresses and jackets. Sounds like, did you say mannequin? No. Behave, you may not. MF says, oh my gosh, that jacket, just woke up and raced the iPad, so glad to be here. Hello peeps. Hi Meg, one of your you made a comment, I can't remember which video it was on, hang on. I've kept the email. You made a comment on finally finishing the navy dresses, lots of thank yous, planning my next makes help. You made a really lovely long comment, and for some reason it didn't appear on YouTube, so I kept to the comment because I wanted to just say thank you, and I hadn't deleted it or ignored it. It just didn't come up on YouTube for some weird random reason. And I did get your email as well. Thank you very much for the email. I did the, I know I said doctors, but I've been seeing the maxillofacial surgeon who specialises in this area and the particular things that I was having, and then an orthodontist as well. And another surgeon as well who took my wisdom teeth out. I have no idea. I know that surgeons are meant to be misters and doctors are doctors, and I always get confused, so I just kind of just call them all doctors. But yeah, I was seeing a maxillofacial surgeon that specializes in this area, not just a regular kind of like GP doctor. But yes, thank you for your email, and I will properly answer it as well. Maria says, love that Victorian look on you. Thank you. I do too. I think I am gonna make quite a few sort of like history bounding type things, because I do think that kind of suits me, that look. But yeah, that one, I need some serious tweaks to that one. Some serious tweaking. But I think once I've done those serious tweaks, it should be good. Let's see. Sheila says, will you discuss how you lengthen the bodice, please? I'm 5'8" and the waist is usually too high. Thanks. I will. There's no lengthen and shorten lines on the bodice part of that coat, which I find really frustrating. So I'm just arbitrarily, I've already marked them in. But when I measured, like I said, the back seam, taking out the seam allowances, it did come out at 17 inches, which is from like the lower part of my back, how long I like my dress bodices to be. But this one comes up a bit higher. So yeah, I think I'm going to need to add 2 inches into that one. So I'll show you how I did it. Well, I'll vlog how I do it. Jennifer says, what do you do with your mock-ups after they've served their purpose? Stuffed dog beds. If this one had fit, I would have taken it apart and used it as a pattern piece, but it doesn't, so I need to make another one. Sal says, did you say mannequin? I did. Not for you. Anessa says, Sean, you should mark the lapel before you put it away so you remember. I won't forget, don't worry. I was already worried about those lapels. Yeah, no, I'm going to just trim them down a little bit. I'm going to trim them down a little bit. Ramona says, hello from Austria. Hello, welcome. And Sal says, you have the perfect curves for such a jacket. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like the peplums that add volume to the hips. So yeah, guys, I am going to call it a day. We've only been going for 3 hours, but my jaw is getting worse the more I'm talking, which is not great because that's what these live hangouts are all about, aren't they? Is me chattering away at you. How did I get this on before without getting these buttons stuck on everything? Yeah, I'm struggling a bit. I am struggling a bit. So I think I'm going to go and have some food, curl up with Chiana. I'm going to come back tomorrow. And as I say, I'm working on the sew along for the 6891 shirt dress in the bottle green cobalt corsage, because I really would like to take that to London with me. Wilson gave me that fabric for Christmas, so it would be really nice to get that done. And also the 8167, now that I've changed the facing on that one. So I'd like to get that one done as a sew along as well, so I can put those out for you while I'm away. And then we're going to be doing the Peeps meetup on Friday, which I am so excited about. I'm going to film some of that, and then hopefully do get the look for less, but like an actual go in person and try some stuff on and see if I can find things in person. We'll see. We shall see. But yeah, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I've left the heating on in my room, like I say, so I shall go and curl up with Chiana, have some food, and not talk anymore because ouchie. I haven't watched the Playboy documentary yet, Jennifer. I didn't even know there was a new one out. I shall have a look. Then everyone's saying enjoy the cheek cuddles. I shall. If I see anything with elephants on, Jennifer, I shall get it for you. So yes, thank you very much, guys. I will see you next time. It's going to be the 27th of February is going to be the next hangout. The 27th. So a couple of weeks off, and hopefully this chills itself out a little bit. That'd be nice. So I shall see you all live in 3 weeks, and then I will see some of you actually in person on Friday, which is very exciting. So yes, thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.